Yo, 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 what's up, what's up? This your boy CJ, making another video. This is my second YouTube video. And yeah, I just don't, excuse my shirt. This ain't the same, it's the same day. I'm just making a second video the same day. So I'm not wearing the same shirt back to back. I'm just gonna upload this tomorrow instead of today. So I just want to let y'all know that keep y'all updated on my Lincare hate. My Lincare hatred toward the company, which they wanted to inform everybody how bad that job is, and if you ever had thoughts of applying there, or you ever got hit up from Monster.com from a Lincare manager that said like we interested in you, turn around and run. I wouldn't even call them back. You know what? No, what? Call them back and say, you know what? I watched a YouTube video of an ex-employee, and he was talking about how bad y'all are and how bad y'all treat the company. I wouldn't wish that job on my worst enemy. You know, I had people hit me up and say, hey man, I looked online, your old job is hiring. I talked to the manager, they said they'll put me in for an interview. I was like, bruh, don't do it. I, I feel I wouldn't be your friend. I feel I'd be a bad friend if I let you take this job. If I let you take this job, you should just end our friendship right now. 'Cause I'm not a real friend if I let you take this job. That's how bad that place is, y'all, and how they treat the driver. So that's why I made this video today. Let y'all know like some of the stuff the drivers go through. Cause it's too much to talk about in one video. So I had to break this down over time about how bad they treat the technicians on this job. So let's get started. But first, like to say, do me a favor. You know what all YouTubers say: hit the like button and subscribe. Help me get my views up. Spread the word if you can. Hit thumbs up. If you don't like something in my video or you disagree with something, let me know in the comments below. So let's get started. So what I'm gonna make today's video about is about driver abuse. So the driver abuse is how the company works is you have, let's say your mom, dad, grandma, somebody gets sick or get in the hospital or have to go to the emergency room, and then they get put in the hospital and the doctor say, you know what, you have a certain illness, you're gonna be sick for a while, but you can't stay in the hospital all the time. That's where companies like Lincare come in, and the other companies. There's more than one company like Lincare. You don't work. You just don't want to work for that company. That's all it is. So what they do is the social worker looks up their file and say, you know what, let me see what type of insurance you got. If it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, United Healthcare, Medicare, Medicaid, whoever it is. They look it up, and then when they look it up, they say, all right, your provider is going to be Lincare, or it's going to be Apria, or it's going to be some other company. They look it up, see which one is your provider. So if your provider Lincare, you're screwed. You're screwed. They let you know that if your grandparent or your auntie or something get any delivery from a company called Lincare, you need to do everything in your power as the child or the son, daughter, grandparent, grandson, auntie, cousin to tell the social worker, say, bro, please do not let my loved one go to Lincare because they're not going to like it. Anyway, this is a video for another day. But this is about the driver's abuse. So basically, once the social worker get that information, they see what the patient need, and then they call that healthcare provider company and say, look, we got a patient discharging, they're going to need oxygen, they might need a CPAP, a feeding tube, the whole night, could be anything, hospital bed, whatever it is. They send a referral and let us know. So when the referral hit the office, you have the CSR that works in the office. That's mostly going to be the people working in the office who sit behind the desk, they get the orders, they verify the insurance, and then when they see everything covered, they dispatch it to the driver. And so we keep extra stuff on our truck to try to prevent us from going back and forth from the office to the area we're covering. And the thing is, the drivers cover a huge territory. So like we'll cover a 60, 70-mile radius from the office, sometimes 100, depending on what branch it is. So that can be covering 4 or 5 counties. You got to cover that first day, that only day, so and every day pretty much the same thing. But the longer you do the job, it does get easier. I can't say that all days are bad, You know what I'm saying? Not out like seeing the patient, but the company made most of the days bad. But the overall job really isn't that bad because I still do the same type of work now with another company. I'm not going to end the company. Although the company I work for is like 100% better. Like I'm actually stress free at my new company. Same type work, the same type work and no pay. No, I said no pay. I'm tripping. The same type work and way more pay, and I do less work and it's stress free. The job is stress free. That just let you know we're in the same field, but that job is horrible. All right, so basically what goes on is they give the drivers come to work in the morning, and we had a box. So I was the assistant manager. I had like a box with all the drivers' names. So I had to get there earlier. I go through the orders off the fax machine that the CSR gave me. I look through the zip codes and see, all right, this driver covering this area, this one covering that area. I would go out and help myself. I wasn't one of those people to sit behind the desk and feel like I was too good. I would go out there and help the drivers. I didn't even call them my employees. I call them my coworkers because I'm not big on. Some people get that superiority complex when they like to be over people. That just wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? So I would help them out. A lot of times my bosses didn't like me. I would go out on the road and help them because they want me in the office helping the CSR doing like helping with phone calls and making decisions and ordering equipment. I had to do that, and I kind of had to help them, so I had a lot more responsibility like the other guys. But that's not the video from the day. But basically, while I separate the orders, the drivers come in and they have to go to their route, organize their route, load the truck and everything, and then get ready to go. So now, this is where it gets tough. So when the driver comes to work, this guy had to take his truck, clean out any old equipment he picked up from the day before, make sure his truck is nice and neat, empty all his empty tanks, reload his full tanks, he had to restock his truck. That could take sometime about 30, 45 minutes. It depends on how empty the truck was from the day before. So you had a day where it was pretty light and you didn't really deliver too much stuff. Then the next day, reload your truck probably take you 10 to 15 minutes. But you had a day where you're slammed like most days and your whole truck is empty. You have to restock that whole truck. It takes you about 30, 45 minutes just to restock your truck because we had a part level list that we had to keep. Well, a part level list is basically a list of items we had to keep on the truck just in case we get calls for orders that we didn't get that morning, so we already have it on the truck, so we had to keep coming back to the office. So you have to load your truck with your part level list, have 2 beds on there, 3 concentrators, tanks, walkers. Once you put all that stuff on the truck, then you have to get your actual orders and load your truck from what you actually have to deliver that day. So doing both of those could take you an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. Sometimes longer than that. Depends on what happens because this is the bad part about the job, all right, with Lincare. Lincare gives you 1 hour. They give the driver 1 hour to get to work, clock in, unload the truck, clean the truck out, restock the truck, which is virtually impossible in 1 hour. 1 hour. And keep in mind, I left something out, y'all. And they want the drivers to help answer the phones when the phones ring, which is the CSR and the manager's job. Whoever's in that office, even if it's a therapist in the office, because the therapists, they don't really go out and to the warehouse that much. If they got to pick up a CPAP, they don't have trucks. They drive their own personal car, so they might have to grab one item and take them maybe 5 minutes to grab. So they're in the office doing paperwork, so they help out with the phone too. But the driver has a whole truck full of stuff that he has to load. So he doesn't have the time to answer the phone and clean the truck out and load the truck. And then on top of that, if we get a shipment from stuff from UPS or from when the truck comes dropping off a load of equipment, then all the driver has to stop what they're doing, bring the stuff outside into the warehouse, cut it open with box cutters. We have to label it with the little label stickers. We have to put serial numbers on it. Then we have to stock it in bag and tag because we have to keep plastic bags over everything for compliance reasons. So it's like a barrier to cover up from dust and germs getting on the equipment. So everything had to have a clear bag on it. It had to be organized in a certain corner. You had to do that. Plus, if you have a piece of equipment you need, because this company is the only medical company that don't hire warehouse people. Yeah, every medical home health company that delivers equipment have a warehouse guy. That warehouse guy, his main job is that warehouse. So what he does is he gets all the equipment the guy got off the truck, he cleans it, he fixes it, he organizes it, he orders equipment, he makes sure that warehouse is in compliance. That's what a warehouse guy does for these medical companies. Lincare is the only company that don't believe in hiring warehouse people. Their concept is we got drivers to do it. The drivers could take time in the morning and clean the whole warehouse, then load their truck. Which, to be honest with y'all, it actually would work if they gave the drivers more time to do that, but they don't. So the drivers supposed to come into work, they had to get their tickets, organize their route, how they gonna do the route. Once they do that, they gotta call all the patients and let them know the ETA, give them a 2 hour window when they'll be there. Then if the phone ring, that to answer the phone, if I'm in, let's say I'm in the office today, and I'm in the office that day, I'm not going out, and the phone ring, and I'm on the phone with the patient, and it rings again, and the therapist answers the phone, and it rings again, the 2 CSR answer the phone, then it rings again, the branch manager answers the phone, then it rings again, and nobody else. Now the driver had to stop what he's doing, run in the warehouse, and pick the phone, because they got this policy, if the phone roll over to corporate, after so many rings, the branch get in trouble. So the driver had to stop doing that. Keep in mind, he's on a 1 hour time clock. 1 hour. 1 hour. So he had to come to work, unload his truck, get his route, organize the whole route, call the patients, load his power level in his truck, then load his actual route, and he has to clean the warehouse, and get to unload the truck and put the stuff in there in the branch. You and the other driver have to all get together, put stuff in the branch where it belongs in the designated area, and answer the phones in 1 hour. 1 hour, people. So let me tell you what happens when you don't do that. So me, I was like, you know what, y'all, forget that rule. It's impossible. Because again, one thing about the job, you had a manager who was an ex-driver. We understand what the drivers go through, so we know it's not possible what corporate asking for. So none of the managers really enforced it too much because we understand where they're coming from. So what happens is I don't worry about y'all. Just make sure y'all don't be in here 5 hours, but at least give them 2 hours. 2 hours is enough time to do pretty much anything. So the guy get to work at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. So by the time they leave, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock. They have enough time to work and do the route. So everything was cool. My boss comes in my office and says, CJ, I need to talk to you. I'm like, all right, what's up? He said, man, we just got an email from corporate about the drivers leaving late. I'm like, how they know? He said, man, corporate is paying attention to the time the driver clocks in the computer at the office to the time that he leaves the warehouse. So they know if a driver clocking at 8 o'clock, he's on an instant stopwatch from corporate. And so they're looking for the time for him to crank that truck up at 9 o'clock. So we get there at 8, that truck has to be cranked up and gone by 9. So they said anybody who we see leaving the warehouse after 9, we don't care if it's 9:01, 9:02, 9:05, y'all gotta write them up. And we're like, that's some BS. So what that did was we had drivers who couldn't even fully load their truck because they're in fear they're gonna get written up. And so drivers would load their truck, and then what happens is a driver can have his truck completely loaded, everything good. The minute he walk out the door, a hospital or a doctor is gonna send an order for something you normally don't keep on the truck. Like if it's some like oxygen or a walker, come on, we keep extra that in the truck, so we'll just leave. So when we do that, sorry, y'all, give me 1 second. My phone ringing. Phone always ringing. All right, my phone acts stupid. Okay, so now, y'all, what happens is that when the driver don't leave, they make us write them up. All right, so then we were like, okay, what are we gonna do? Because what corporate is asking for is unreasonable. Because when a driver get ready to leave, he get an order from a doctor's office or something, and then just say, look, we gotta throw an extra feeding pump order out there, y'all. So a feeding pump is something the driver gonna keep on the truck because there's only so many we keep in the warehouse and so expensive. So if a driver get an order, there's some items you have to come back to the office for. You have no choice. But if they give you one of those and you're about to walk out the office and leave and you get down the street, then the office call and say, look, so-and-so, we got a order for a feeding pump, you gotta turn back around and come get it. So now, two things gonna happen. If that driver say he not gonna turn back around, then they gonna make it write him up for insubordination. But he's not trying to be defiant. He just knows if he does that, he gonna turn back around. They gonna say, "Oh, he didn't leave the warehouse at 9. Write him up." So it's so many situations where the drivers are in like a lose situation where you just can't win. It's crazy. So now the driver to turn back around, get this feeding pump, throw these supplies on the truck. Then he has to call the patient and squeeze this new order in his route, which over time you kind of get used to squeezing people in your route, how to adjust it. I mean, kind of hard to explain, but you get used to how to do that. So that doesn't happen. But there's a time when it happens too much in the day, and then you might have promised somebody you're going to be there between 11 and 1 in the morning, 11 and 1 at night. I'm sorry, 11 and 1 in the afternoon. And then you end up having to get there at between 2 and 4, and then they're mad because they might have to leave, go to work. It happens. But we get the brunt of it, and then we get in trouble for that too. So another thing about the drivers is we cover such a big area where the issue we have with the CSRs in the office, CSRs, I mean, they're good people, y'all, but I always had a philosophy that it's always easy to tell somebody to do something when you don't have to do it yourself. So I could say, hey, move this bed or this couch upstairs. You know what? Bring it back downstairs. You know what? Put it in the basement. You know what? Bring it back upstairs. Yeah, I could easily say that because I'm not the one doing it. So the office would be like, yeah, CJ, we need you to come back and grab extra hospital bed, or come back and grab an extra wheelchair, or come back. You be like, bro, I can't keep coming back. Cause I keep coming back, I'm never gonna get done. Cause yeah, this is another thing I left out. We work crazy overtime. Like our overtime is insane. I mean, it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. It's good and it's bad. Cause it's good and it's bad because the money's great when the overtime is like that. And then how Lincare is, since they pay their employees so little, for the exception of me, I got paid pretty good because I came from the company that they bought, but everybody else didn't make that much money. So even the drivers who didn't make that much, when they got that crazy overtime, they had a decent paycheck. So that was the positive. The sad part is there are days you dog tired. I mean, there are days where we get to work at 7, and then you might get home at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. On a regular, like for like a whole week, whole 7 days. So you talking about working 16 to 17 hours a day for 6, 7 days a week. So you got like a 100-hour pay for 100 hours that 1 week, not 2 weeks. 1 week you got like 100 hours. And then management gets mad at you when you're tired. It's like, nigga, you sit here behind the desk all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, how you get at me? I had a manager get at me one time because, y'all, no lie, because in this field, you got to do on call. So when you do on call, you basically, like, you got to sleep with your phone. Like, your phone got to be, like, near your head when you sleep because you got to hear the phone middle of the night if somebody call, like, an emergency happens, somebody oxygen machine break, or the bed break, some stuff happens in the middle of the night, you have your phone with you. So basically when you're on call, you work your regular shift. So you from, let's say you work from 7 to 4 or 5, whatever, every single day. When you're on call, you don't go home at 4 or 5 o'clock. So basically you finish your route get done at 6 o'clock, more orders are there that night. So basically when you ready to go home, you had to come back to the warehouse at 6 o'clock because you had a whole nother route that night. Because stuff come out after hours. So after hours, all the other drivers go home. Well, they try to go home. But majority of them go home. So you have to do every ticket. If it can be in this driver's route, and this driver's route, and that driver's route, you got to do it. But to Lincare defense, I'm real fair, y'all. I'm real fair. All home health companies do this when they're on call. When you're on call, you get to cover other driver territory. Because typically how it go when you're on call, the orders slow down. So you might get 3 or 4 tickets that night, which is not a lot. But when you got 3 or 4 tickets in areas that you don't normally cover, that's a big radius, you could be out there all night, even with something simple. But it's part of the job. So you kind of got to be mentally prepared for it. But they would either come back and do that. So there have been nights where I started at 7 o'clock in the morning, y'all. got home at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, go to bed at 12, 12:30, get called back in at 1 o'clock in the morning, or to drive to Timbuktu somewhere. Then I might get home at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I still have to be at work at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Yes, that's how the field is. But it's not built for everybody. The issue we had is you have a driver, like at night I did that crazy hours. I was supposed to have been at work at 7:30 that morning. Keep in mind, I got in the house at 4 from work. You realize my manager got mad at me because I got to work at 9 the next morning? 9. 9. I get to the office, he says, CJ, come to my office. I'm like, what's up? Dude, why you late? You been late 3 times a week. I'm like, bro, you know why I'm late. I've been working 18, 19 hours a day all week. I haven't had no sleep. I literally only be getting 3 to maybe 4 hours of sleep a night on a consistent basis. Well, that's no excuse because this is your job. You signed up for it. Bruh, I know what the job sustains, but at the end of the day, I'm human. Keep in mind, y'all, if you have a driving job in Georgia, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, obviously. You see my Braves hat, you see my Bulldog shirt. In Atlanta, Georgia, you have a driving job, you're not supposed to work past 11 hours if you're driving. But they don't care about that. And so he wrote me up for it. I said, okay. One advantage I had is, y'all, I'm a really good worker. So I don't know what it is. Most jobs I have, the corporate people love me to death. And I would have a manager who knew that the corporate people would love me. Well, I had one corporate guy who really liked me and him. To the day we still tight. And he knew my work ethic. So my boss knew, like, dang, if I write CJ up, I'm going to be in trouble for my boss. He knew that. He knew it was some BS what he was doing. He knew that. But that's what the company does. And you know what the branch manager do all day? Keep in mind, the branch managers sit there behind the desk. They order equipment, which is also my job too. We both order equipment. They go to luncheons and stuff like that with doctors and nurses, and they're home by like 4 or 5 o'clock. They work no overtime, none. But then get mad at us. And keep in mind, if we're on call, we have to work that weekend too. There ain't no going home that weekend, so you work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then you're off. So it depends on the branch and how much staff you have. You might work 12 days straight if you're on call. Most companies they work 12 days straight if you're on call. It happens. But some companies the on call isn't that brutal like my company where like if you do it, you might get a few calls on the weekend, nothing big, so you can still kind of rest. And then that night you don't get that many calls, but it does happen. But with this company, you can work 12 days straight, and then you get the next 2 days off, and then you work 12 days straight. So basically, you're on a week, off a week. It depends on how many drivers you got. If it's a branch of the drivers, then you could like have the next 2 or 3 weekends off, and they work every 4th weekend, which ain't that bad, you know. But there's offices that don't have that many drivers with like 2 or 3 people. So if your coworker got something planned and he got to leave or he got something coming up, and you might just work that previous weekend, you have to cover his weekend. So when you cover his weekend, excuse me, I got the hiccups. You work basically a whole month straight. You work every single day for a whole month. I done had too many months I did that. The only good thing out of it, I say I made a lot of money and I invested a lot of money, which I'm real glad I did. And they complained about that too. That's a story for another day. So, but that's one thing that they do at that company, y'all. I mean, it's bad. They work the employees to death, then get mad at you, like for being late. So I got told my boss, I said, dude, I worked 2 weeks straight. Then the weekend I thought I was gonna be off. My coworker had a death in the family, so that means I had to stop what I was doing and go to work on Saturday. And once I go work on Saturday and Sunday, I got to come back to work on Monday. And then that next week that come up, that's my on call. My regular on call is on the schedule, so I got to do that too, and then come back. And then let's say that person has another thing going on where they can't work that weekend. The manager wants you to do it again. And then get mad at you because you want a day off. You be like, bro, I worked a whole month straight. Can I just have 1 or 2 days off? Then have nobody to get mad. Well, you don't value your job because people would kill to have their job. Well, why don't you do it then? You know, so that's just some of the stuff that drivers go through. There's more stuff I want to tell you about in the future, but I don't want to make this video too long. It's already at 25 minutes, so we're gonna cut this short. So y'all, tell me what you think about the video. You know, hit the like button, subscribe. It's your boy CJ. I'm signing out. Deuces.